So this was definitely inspired by the Texas Backroads and Borders stuff that Loud Maroney did. Yeah.
That was a really neat trip that they took.
And shortly after he started talking about that and aired that, I started working on plotting this on a map. And so this has been several years in the making, but this is the first trip that I've set out with people to say, hey, let's intentionally come down and let's intentionally run part of this, and let's create a official track that we can publish and say this is part of this route. And so that was the object today, and maybe a little bit tomorrow too. But we're, as I anticipated, running about 100 miles of that a day is about as much as you really want to do, especially in wintertime in Oklahoma with short days. We saw a lot of cool things and found some cool roads and drove some pavement and a little bit of everything. It was a good time today.
The Oklahoma Circumnavigation creates a route that sticks closely to the border of the state on publicly accessible roads, regardless of surface type. Mapped out by Chad, it was now time to begin the months-long process of verifying accessibility of the route. So, Chad invited Mike and me to join him for a first trip around the part along the southeast corner of the state. Departing my Midwest city home, I would meet Chad and Mike at Blue River Public Fishing and Hunting Area, and, of course, I'd make the trip out a part of my adventure. So I just turned off the highway and have arrived at the Tishomingo National Fish Hatchery. Just kind of visit a little bit here. The Tishomingo Fish Hatchery was established in 1928. It was originally the site of a grist mill, which is still maintained for visitors to see. The hatchery conserves various species and stocks nearby Blue River with trout beginning on November 1st. That is where we plan to camp tonight. The hatchery also offers fishing along adjacent Pennington Creek. When I arrived at Blue River Fishing Area, I learned that there was a major fishing derby this weekend. That would make it challenging to find a site for camping. Nope, that's just a different way to the same place. Well, found a couple of campsites way down here at the end of this road. I sent a text message to Chad and Mike so they knew where we would camp, and then I explored the area around our campsite while awaiting their arrival.
And then there's a state park I didn't even know existed. That's like, we're going to drive down to see it too, because I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, oh, well, we're going to go check it all out. This is what this is about.
Okay, this is looking really good. And
Good.
smelling really good, too.
Good.
The next morning, we were awakened early as the Derby participants camped around us, headed to the nearby river.
It's a nice, crisp fall morning. It feels like fall. It's beautiful. Nice leaves. Coffee's nice.
Yes.
Appreciate the hot water. Absolutely. She's just a slow one this morning, but she gets us there.
It works.
What you got there?
This is the Oklahoma Wildlife Management Area Atlas. You can get it at the Wildlife Department in Oklahoma City. I think there's a way to order one online from them as well. You may actually have to call. This is Blue River Public Fishing and Hunting Area. It's where we're at right now. And the camping areas are illustrated on the map, but as we can see, this is obviously a camping area. And there's bathrooms and everything, but there's no indication that there is on the map here, so it's not always perfect that way.
Is this also included with the Avenza app?
You can get these in the Avenza app. The way you'd have to do that to see them on the Avenza app is you have to go to the Wildlife Department website and download the PDF and then import it into Avenza. But it is geo-referenced.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Where'd you catch them on?
It was a green and gold rooster tail.
Nice. Good job, Cameron. And what was your dad saying?
He was saying that I won the biggest stringer.
Oh, awesome.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Welcome to day one of the Oklahoma Circumnavigation scouting trip. A lot of people here for a fishing derby. It was late morning by the time we departed Blue River for our Oklahoma Circumnavigation starting point near Hugo. I have a pretty little valley right in here.
Man, all of them.
During the drive down to Hugo, my mind was replaying what I'd learned about Chad's and Mike's rigs that morning.
This is Serenity, my 2000 Lexus LX470. We replaced the stock roof rack with a Front Runner Outfitters rack to support our ARB hard case awning and Free Spirit Recreation Adventure Series M55 rooftop tent. Our next modification was adding Falcon Wild Peak MT tires. Coming down the Mulkide Dugway in Utah, the Lexus automatic height control system had a sensor go bad. This dropped the suspension to its bump stops. After spending 2 nights in a Flagstaff hotel and losing a day and a half just to get parts, I decided that the AHSC system had to go. I replaced it with a Dobinson's 2-inch lift kit and a Trail Taylor front upper control arms. I still run airlift bags in the rear coils to provide leveling when heavily loaded. The front bumper's been replaced with an ARB Deluxe pull bar that will eventually hold a winch. Back in the cargo area, a Dometic CFX75 dual zone fridge allows us to pack plenty of food and have ice cream with our Dutch oven cobbler. It is powered by a DIY dual battery system that currently has a Group 31 Odyssey AGM battery in the box. Storage of our other gear is handled by Front Runner Wolfpack boxes and a couple of thin clear totes to hold our dry food items. Trail communications are handled using the Midland MXT275 GMRS radio, and longer range communications outside of cellular coverage are done via an inReach Mini satellite messenger.
This is my 2017 Jeep Wrangler JKU Rubicon Hard Rock Edition. It has a 3-inch TerraFlex lift with Bilstein shocks and sits on a set of 315/7017 BF Goodrich TAKO2s on stock wheels. I've added a Gobi Stealth roof rack, which is great for exterior gear storage, as well as mounting rooftop tents and my ARB awnings. I also use my Gobi rack as a mounting point for my 5-pound propane tank and 2 additional Rotopax fuel canisters for longer trips. For additional exterior storage, I also have a TerraFlex Ultra rack and a Blue Ridge Overland Gear XL spare tire bag. Both bumpers are stock Mopar Hard Rock bumpers, but the front now contains a Smitty-built X20 winch with synthetic line and Factor 55 Pro Link. Underneath, I've added a complete quad-protected aluminum skid plate system for a little extra protection on those rockier trails. Under the hood, the engine is stock, but I have added an ARB twin onboard air compressor and Apollo Intech control system. The Apollo Intech is great for running my rigid lights on my bumper, A-pillars, and roof rack, as well as my Casey High-Like rock lights underneath. On the interior, I have a Goose Gear platform system with a 100% rear seat delete. This provides ample flat cargo space in the back, as well as lockable underfloor storage. In the rear, I have a Goose Gear 2-drawer system next to a Dometic CFX 45 refrigerator on a Dometic slide. Those paired with my Outback Adventures tailgate table make for a great trail kitchen. For extra interior storage, I have a TerraFlex Wasatch rear cargo rack, Blue Ridge Overland Gear attic, and Impact seatback MOLLE panels for a variety of pouches and storage. On the dash, I have a Vector bar with 67 design mounts, which holds my cell phone, iPad, and any GPS equipment I might have with me on the trip. For comms, I use a Midland handheld CB and Midland GMRS unit. Beyond that, there are numerous little odds and ends that have helped me make my rig over time.
This is the beginning of what will eventually become part of the Oklahoma Circumnavigation Trail.
All right, and so begins the turny twisty route.
I like the way the leaves are chasing behind the Jeep.
It'll stretch of these big trees. This is nice.
Just getting ready to say that. It is really pretty.
I worked pretty hard on staying on roads that were marked as being roads. You got a weight limit on that bridge of 6 tons. This road doesn't get a lot of traffic. That last one to the right didn't say dead end, but I sure traced all of them I can on the map and couldn't find a way through, or we'd just been taking it. My goodness, that's a lot.
Talking about all these crows here. Look at them all. They're all around us.
All right, it's number estimating time. What do you got, Mike? Okay, based on my sloppy than usual count, I go with at least 425. Okay. I was going to go with nice round numbers. I was thinking 400-ish, so we're probably in the neighborhood.
I was thinking several hundred.
Bunch of juncos flew up out of that yard into a tree. Fort Townsend Depot, it says. Looks to be in nice shape, too. That's awesome.
It was midday as we neared Raymond Gary State Park, so we took a short detour to have lunch by the lake.
Red-tailed hawk overhead, Canada geese down there. Probably some cool little warblers in these trees, probably pine warblers this time of year in these trees. We'd have to get out and do some work and find them.
And we are leaving Raymond Gary State Park.
I'm glad we went this way now. There's a gate ahead. I'm kind of thinking we may have ran out. We need to turn around. We're stuck. Whatever.
Yeah, it looked like flooding hit it pretty hard, huh?
Man, it's pretty down there. There's a closed gate ahead. Closed gate ahead. Closed gate ahead.
This looks like it'll go through, but you'll have to backtrack a little bit to the right.
Yeah, there's some zigzag and it looks pretty good. This is not what the map looks like at all.
No, if we keep going down, we're gonna meet your original route, and you just turn to the left on it.
Yeah, I'm just confused because where we're at right now is not as mapped.
Mine shows the road continuing straight on down to the one that you originally had us on, had that gate not been there.
It's a big pecan orchard to our left. I guess I saw a sign back there, but I didn't realize the orchard was this big.
And we have turned toward Red Slough Wildlife Management Area. In fact, we are on the edge of it now. After our brief stop at Red Slough, we checked several roads north of there in the National Forest for a campsite.
This is nice. Yeah, it's cool. I've never been in here.
I think what we did today was a really nice, about 90-mile run from the border south of Hugo to just south of Red Slough Wildlife Management Area. So,
Yeah, some fun roads today, some fun scenery, some fun birds. Yeah, it's a good day.
found a place to camp that I didn't know existed. That's always exciting in Oklahoma.
Yeah, agreed.
I tell you, as we're driving along and you guys calling out these birds, you blow me away. I'm like, how can you see the detail you have to see to know all this?
Don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
All that gestalt to them. Certain, just how they
And general impression of size and shape
Yeah.
and behavior and habitat and all that goes into it.
posture, how they hang their tail, how they droop their head or don't.
In my car last night, even with all the windows up and everything, I could hear that screaming and like, whoa, that's loud.
Yeah. As they quiet down now.
Yep. And there they go again.
Well, we've identified most stuff by sound or by appearance.
Well,
We've done okay. We've done
The
okay.
screech owls this morning, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like
Screech
that.
owls are cool. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't hear that, but I tell you what, I was really enjoying my warm.
I get that too.
It stayed pretty warm in there.
Good.
I think the fridge actually helps with that. You know,
Was I cold?
the compressor.
No, I was laying in my sleeping bag, wasn't I?
The compressor kicks
but
on.
I'd heard him up. I hadn't said a word. I was just lying on my sleeping bag, and then I heard that, and I said, and I just out of the blue, I said, "Hey, Mike, what kind of bird was that?" And he said, "That's a screech owl."
Yeah, screech owls are awesome.
While Chad and I would continue on the mapped route with a stop at Red Slough, Mike would depart for home due to a plumbing emergency.
There's lots of places out here for a gator to hide.
A couple hours ago, I wouldn't have thought I need some air conditioning in this truck, but it's a little toasty in here right now.
I got mine on.
The river's right there on the right.
My map labels that actually as Clear Lake.
Now, this is a dead end. We need to turn around. I just completely missed the turn.
Yeah, there was a driveway there, I think.
Here's my turn.
And this slough area off to the right is what I have identified as Clear Lake. Nope, yeah, there is a little bit of a lake back there.
Yeah, I see that now.
So do you have software that you use to edit out the little detours that we take?
Yes, I will go through and overlay a new route over it, and then probably overlay one in each direction, because the guy has got directional with turn-by-turn navigation if you have that enabled now. These are some big old pecan trees on the right.
There are a lot of pecans down around here, aren't there? I've read that they require a kind of a high sand content in the soil for good drainage. Welcome to Arkansas.
No monument. I'm gonna turn around right here.
Having reached the southeast corner of the state, we headed to the north along the eastern boundary.
I was watching a red-tailed hawk over there. This is kind of fun. This is as good as you can get for border route. We got Arkansas on the right, Oklahoma on the left. This was the goal.
Ah, so this is where we're going to end this, isn't it? Coming up here?
It is. Weird things make me happy.
It had been a great time test driving the first section of Chad's Oklahoma Circumnavigation route. We ran into private roads and gates about a half dozen times, which validates the need to drive all of it before making it fully public. But despite those miscues, we'd seen a lot of a pretty state. I know that all three of us are eager to continue developing the route, so expect to see more about that in the future.
Okay, I'm videoing this now.
And action.
That's what you were waiting for.
Catch a fish.
Not a tree.